Bollywood and its audience has always had a fascination with watching multiple stars on the screen at the same time. The bigger the star cast, the bigger the chances of a movie making money. So that's why Bollywood has a rich history of big ensemble casts in a single movie. And today we're gonna look at top 10 Bollywood movies with an incredible ensemble cast. Before we start though, we wanna say that this list isn't just about big names in a movie, but about how perfectly casted the movie was and how good the movie ended up being. So movies like Kalank won't make this list because it's shit despite having a big star cast. Number 10, Rajniti. Let's start off with a movie which is probably the least crowd-pleasing movie on this list. Directed by Prakash Jha, Rajniti is a modern rendition of the old Mahabharata set in the world of modern-day politics. But the biggest pull of this movie was its exceptional star cast. First of all, you had 4 great actors in Manoj Bajpayee, Ajay Devgan, Nana Patekar and Ranbir Kapoor, all taking the center stage and acting their hearts out. But then, they were also supported by actors like Arjun Rampal and Sarah Thompson. There was even a cameo by Naseeruddin Shah, and not to mention Katrina Kaif's acting was also somehow not bad in this film. So all in all, even though the movie might not be the best movie out there and it might not even be good for some people, but for us, it's still a very good movie with a great star cast, all of whom impressed us with their time on screen. Number 9, Waqt. We had to include Waqt in this list because it was the first proper Bollywood multi-starrer film that included a number of different stars of the industry. And no wonder that this was directed by none other than a young Yash Chopra. Now the film is kind of old as it released in 1965, but this movie practically invented a lot of Bollywood stereotypes that followed in the 1960s and the 70s, like long lost brothers, a court case scenario and family drama. But even imagining such a big project at the time was visionary, especially with a star cast that involved actors like Sunil Dutt, Rajkumar, Shashi Kapoor, Sadhana, Sharmila Tagore, alongside Balraj Sahani, Achala Sachdev and Rahman. Bringing all of these stars together at the time was a very big deal, and it was no wonder that the film ended up being the highest earning movie at the box office in that year, and started the trend of multi-starrer Bollywood films as well. Number 8, Kabhi Khushi Kabhie Gham. Now we were very unsure about this movie making this list, because personally for us it has not really aged well as a movie should. But then we thought about how much this movie worked in its time 19 years ago with a cast that is extraordinary, which by the way happens to be the basis of this list. And that's why we decided to include Kabhi Khushi Kabhie Gham in this list. Can you really blame us? When the movie includes superstars from 3 different generations of Bollywood all in one, it's bound to be good. Shah Rukh Khan and Kajol were current and the happening jodi of the time and did a superb job in leading the cast. Amitabh Bachchan and Jaya Bachchan represented the past of Bollywood, and Hrithik Roshan and Kareena Kapoor gave a glimpse into the future. And although the movie is now a tad bit melodramatic, it's still a good watch because none of these actors were actually bad in this film, well maybe except for Kareena Kapoor and her overacting. But the rest of the cast carried this film easily on their shoulders and made it worth watching again. Number 7, Omkara. Vishal Bhardwaj's adaptation of Othello was an excellent film, and even though it didn't do as well as it should have at the Indian box office due to its dark theme and strong language, the film did very well in foreign countries and even entered the top 10s in UK. The film was universally praised for its writing and direction, but the movie got its praise mainly for the acting talent that was involved in this film. While Ajay Devgan and Kareena Kapoor were the traditional leads of this film and they really did act superbly, it was Saif Ali Khan's Langda Tyagi that stole the show and was considered a milestone performance in Bollywood, and he even won several awards for that performance. These actors were also supported by names like Vivek Oberoi and Bipasha Basu, who were both pretty good in their roles, and of course Konkona Sen Sharma, who was also a part of the cast and eventually won a national award for her role as well. Naseeruddin Shah again played a very small cameo in this film. Also, this was the film that properly kickstarted Deepak Dobriyal's Bollywood career. So a great star cast and a great movie. What else can you ask for? Number 6, Dil Chahta Hai. Now before you start hating us, Dil Chahta is probably one of the best movies in Bollywood and is a big milestone for starting the slice of life movie genre in India. And the only reason this film is on 6th is because although it has a big star cast, it's smaller than some of the other movies that are going to be coming ahead. Farhan Akhtar's directorial debut Dil Chahta Hai got all the praise it deserved, and rightly so. It was undoubtedly a great film. But the reason it worked so good was because of the perfect casting of each role in this film. Aamir Khan, Saif Ali Khan and Akshay Khanna were all perfectly casted for their roles. That felt like it was specifically written for them. So much so that we saw a little bit of our own friends in their group. and we still see it. This movie basically invented going on road trips to Goa for fuck's sake. And then these three actors were perfectly paired with actresses like Preeti Zinta, Dimple Kapadia and Sonali Kulkarni. Although not all of them had the same screen time, none of the actors looked out of place in this film. And the whole cast seemed to gel so well together, so it had to make our list. Number 5, Maqbool. The first Shakespeare adaptation that Vishal Bhardwaj made in Bollywood was Maqbool, adapted from Macbeth. And at the time of its release, it sadly didn't get the attention it deserved. Although the movie had rave reviews from critics all around the world, it was not a hit with the audience at the time. Because although the star cast is full of great actors, none of them were superstars. Irfan Khan, who played the leading role, was still an unknown entity in Bollywood. And this was one of the first movies where he got to play the lead. And he excelled alongside his female lead Tabbu, who was as brilliant as she always is. And they were helped with a star cast of great veteran actors like Pankaj Kapoor, Naseeruddin Shah and Om Puri, all of whom did a splendid job, especially Pankaj Kapoor in his menacing role of Jahangir Khan. The movie also had performers like Piyush Mishra, Ajay Gehi and Deepak Dobriyal, all of whom were basically starting their careers in Bollywood as well. Clearly this movie deserved way more love from the audience than it initially got with such an outstanding cast. Number 4, Yuva. A proper Mani Ratnam classic, Yuva was a multi-starrer story about politics and the youth. The movie was well received at the time by both the audience and the critics, and one of the biggest reasons for it being so popular at the time was its casting. The movie had a big ensemble cast of Ajay Devgan, Abhishek Bachchan, Vivek Oberoi, Rani Mukherjee and Kareena Kapoor, all of whom were big names at the time. And they were perfect in their roles alongside supporting actors like Sonu Sood, Isha Deol, Om Puri, Vijay Raj and Saurabh Shukla. The movie was released alongside its Tamil counterpart on the same day, and both of these movies have a stellar star cast. And it's no wonder that this movie was successful. Number 3, Rang De Basanti. For us, Rang De Basanti is probably one of the finest movies made in Bollywood. The movie has beautiful music by A.R. Rahman with its crisp and compact script, and near-perfect direction by Rakesh Om Prakash Mehra. But these complicated characters written in the script were brought to life by all of the actors in the film who were casted so brilliantly. Firstly, of course, Aamir Khan, who was the main attraction of the film. But nowhere does it feel like he's the only lead in this film. Because Siddharth feels like he shares the same screen time as Aamir Khan and arguably has a bigger storyline. Both of them do a wonderful job. And then there are others in the group like Atul Kulkarni, Kunal Kapoor and Sharman Joshi, all of whom had their own impact on this film. All of these actors at least had one memorable scene in the movie where they stole the show with their acting. The movie also had good performances by Alice Patton and Soha Ali Khan, with supporting actors like Wahida Rehman, Anupam Kher and even a memorable cameo by Madhavan. And the whole of this cast was just so excellent in the way that they portrayed their characters, it made them memorable. Number 2, Sholay. Can you really have a list about an ensemble cast without including probably the most famous ensemble cast and characters in the history of Bollywood? Sholay is a landmark film in Bollywood history. The movie's dialogue, stories, songs, everything is memorable. But I swear, this movie would have not been the same with a different star cast. I mean, every person that has played even the tiniest role in this film is famous for their characters. From Samba to Kalia, from Rahim Chacha to the jailer. Every character in this film has become iconic, and it's because of its perfect casting choices at the time. Amitabh and Dharmendra as Jay and Viru, Hema Malini as Basanti, Sanjeev Kumar as Thakur, Jaya Bhaduri as Radha, and of course last but not the least, Amjad Khan as Gabbar Singh. Every role is portrayed with such perfection that it is etched into the minds of everyone who has seen this movie at least once. And you would not change even one of those actors if given the chance to do it. Number 1, Gangs of Wasseypur. Okay, we're kind of cheating here because we are counting both of these movies as a singular movie, but this movie was all shot at once as one big film, and that is how it was shown in the Cannes Film Festival. They only made it into 2 parts for the Bollywood audience and released both the films only a month apart, so yeah. If we club both of these movies together, we have the most underrated and the finest ensemble cast that Bollywood has ever seen. Most of these actors made a name for themselves through this film and ended up being big names in the industry. But just imagine having the likes of Manoj Bajpayee, Nawazuddin Siddiqui, Richa Chadda, Huma Qureshi, Piyush Mishra, Reema Sen, Tigmanshu Dhulia, Pankaj Tripathi, Vineet Kumar Singh, Jaideep Alawat and Rajkumar Rao all in one movie. How can you put so much talent in one movie? And this is with us not even including any of the supporting roles or cameos that the film had, which were all amazing to watch. Agreed that both of these films combined had a total runtime of over 5 hours, but still, for casting every role perfectly and giving a chance to lesser known actors because they are talented is why this film is at the top of our list. So guys, this was our video with the top 10 best Bollywood movies with an ensemble cast. So again, we know it's been a long ass time since we uploaded, but as we said, technical difficulties, so sab fuck ho gaya. So forget about it, we are going to get back on our track and we are going to give you more videos, and in the meantime, keep showing us the love. Do let us know in the comments below what are the videos you want us to make next. Do follow our social media handles to get to know us better, like and share this video, and subscribe to Brainwash for more videos like these.